Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to find and use broken links on Wikipedia, and as you almost certainly know, Wikipedia is a massive resource, which means there'll inevitably be broken links. Links come and go on the web all the time. Sometimes it's just a simple page change because someone's changed the structure of the site. Other times they don't renew the domain. Sometimes, like Microsoft and a few others, they forget to renew the domain and they get publicly humiliated for it. Lots and lots of different things. Those last ones tend to get fixed fast, but lots of other ones, someone bought the site, didn't go as well as they thought to go, and that's it, it gets dropped. We'll talk about that a bit later. But whatever the reason, there's lots and lots and lots of broken links on Wikipedia. And they're flagged on page. You can do a search, and you can do a search on the web. Just use the thing, if you go to Matthew Woodward's site, which I've linked from the um, description box below, you'll find the basically the pattern, the footprint. You can use it, and you can also, if you're an editor in Wikipedia, you can use their internal editing system to find them, because they realise it's a problem and they'd like you to fix it, but we'll come on to that as well. In an ideal world, from an SEO point of view, you'd be able to go in and edit and point links to your site, but it's not that easy, because obviously, again, being a vast resource, Wikipedia gets abused, and they've got procedures in place to stop you doing anything quite as blatantly obvious as that. And that's right, a lot of editors are proud of Wikipedia, that's why they've done it in the first place. It's typically a volunteer site, and they view attempts to hijack its links as being basically hostile, equivalent to being spam or a virus or whatever. So if all you ever do is go in and edit links, chances are your editorship won't last very long, or it'll be called into question, because unless you're linking out to really, really good places, so if virtually every link you do goes to CNN or Fox News or Forbes or something like that, chances are, yeah, you'd get away with it. But if it goes to Fred Bloggs' domain in the middle of nowhere that's got no traffic and about 3 pages and whatever, and if every single link you do is that, you're going to get flagged. So you have to be very careful, and it's an awkward one. And that's why gigs on Fiverr and other freelance sites don't promise that they'll last, because they probably won't. The editor is the person going in, they're charging you $30, $40, $50, $100 for the link, but they're doing that for so many different subject matters that they can't know all those. They can't know about Bitcoin and losing weight with paleo system, and SEO, and gaining weight with muscle fast or whatever. And it's all contradictory, so again, it flags. Computers have been looking for those kind of things for ages, and that means that you pay money and your link probably vanishes. It may not, it may stay, but I wouldn't put too much money on it. I certainly wouldn't put this $30, $50, $100 on it, because chances are you're just putting it in a slot machine and letting the casino win. Next up, you could search and reach out to editors offering them a valid replacement option. That does work. It's time consuming if you've got the time and effort and inclination, or someone cheap to do it. Yeah, it can work. As I said, time consuming because, yeah, there's a program called Wikigrabber that you go online with, or you can buy Scrapebox if you want thousands of links to work on, although you'd have to buy proxies and things like that, because Scrapebox tends to scrape Google, and Google get upset about being used for that kind of thing, so they have systems in place, and you have to basically go at it gently. But you can use tools like Wikigrabber that will grab you maybe 5 or 6 dead links, then you can go through to the page and click each one and search for it, click each one individually. Is it doable? Yeah, it is. If you're being paid $2 an hour or something like that, if you enjoy that, or if you've got someone who's a good worker that you can pay $2 an hour, yeah, it can be really good. But there's no guarantee your new content will get accepted, because you found the broken link, you created some new content for it, and it has to be decent content, because remember, Wikipedia are proud of what they do. They're not going to link to something that was written by someone who'd run it through Google Translate 15 times and it comes out as a completely new language. They're going to link to pages that are decent content, so you're not looking at a 100, 200 word article, you're probably looking 500, 1,000 words relevant to the link, and then you've got to outreach the editor. They've got to respond to it. They're all volunteers, or almost all volunteers. so that doesn't necessarily happen in real time. So there's no guarantee your new content will get accepted and linked to. It might do, it might not. It's a lottery. But as I said, if you can get decent content created cheaply enough, it can work nicely. Now, when I say created, I really do mean written. I don't mean go out, scrape it and compile it, use a spinner or anything like that, because that doesn't work either. They'll spot it a mile off. They've been there, done that. You know, if you go to a page and if you start reading it, it doesn't flow right. It was written there to keyword stuff. So it has to be decent content. You're looking at probably, if you went on iWriter or something like that, you're looking at least $5 to get the content written. If you go elsewhere, you're probably looking at least 10. Then you'd have to edit it, because when it comes back, it's not necessarily totally usable. What I tend to use iWriter for is a first draft, and then I'll spend 5 or 10 minutes of my own time being the editor and turning it from English as a second language, which it often is, and no criticism of that. Their English as a second language is a lot better than any of my second languages, because I haven't got any. But turning it from halfway decent to pretty good. So yeah, you can do that, but it's time consuming. And another option, and kind of my favourite I suppose, is to find expired domains that are already linked from Wikipedia. As I said before, it's a big site. It's going to happen. Domains expire day in, day out. They always do. It's not easy from the main Wikipedia site because you have to click through to each link. So you've got to go through what I've done when I've looked for it manually. I'll hover over the link, and if it's an education link, no, chances are the student's left that university. That's why the page is dead. So that's you could do it other ways, but you certainly can't buy the domain because that particular university probably is still in business and won't let the domain expire. Lots of others are subpages on sites where they've changed the structure. So finding them, it's time consuming. You could do it manually, yeah, but again, depends how many hours you've got in the day that you want to do this kind of thing. It's the kind of thing that software excels at. It can go through, it can say, right, here's the ones with dead links, because that's dead easy, that's a search, or an API search, or whatever it happens to be, and it can then say, it can fire what's known as a status request, exactly the same as a search engine does, or anything else does when it goes to a web page, and it can find out whether the page is dead, which gives a 404 message, whether it's live, which gives a different message, whether it's expired, well, not expired, just doesn't exist, and that will give a different message again, sometimes. Lots of different status codes, lots and lots of what are known as status, and software can grab those a lot quicker than you can. And the advantage of finding and then using expired domains is that they're a lot less likely to be removed as links. They've simply changed owner. You know, if you've got a website, you've probably got a page of links somewhere, or you've got internal links that go off to other sites, and you know as well as I do that you almost certainly never check them. When I used to be an editor of Open Directory, when that was around, it had a robot going around saying that that domain's expired. It basically took it out of the Open Directory, put it back in the editor's area, said domain's expired, just double check before you relist it because chances are it's a spammer. I don't know if Wikipedia's got anything like that yet, but if it hasn't, I'd be shocked if it doesn't get it. I'm not a Wikipedia editor, but I know that since Open Directory were doing that for nearly a decade, it's certainly feasible, and if I was running a Wikipedia, I'd be looking at it and saying, well, yeah, that's a dead link. I'm not going to relink to it automatically because it may well have been bought by a spammer. I'd like an editor to check it and say, right, that link's live again, and again, dead easy software to do that. So if an editor goes in and checks, and they should, and most of them they care enough about Wikipedia to do it, then they'd need to find something that was similar. They're not going to spend hours reading it, but they're going to look at it and say, well, yeah, that looks like a kosher site, or it looks like a spammer site, and then they'll take a view accordingly. So keep the content similar to the previous content. You can use sites like archive.org to find that, or you can just look at the link and you can usually get a good idea of what it was about, and then you just do a quick search and create something, or pay someone to create something. And as I said, using software to do this takes the heavy lifting out of the process, because do it manually, you're bored before you find the first one. Trust me, I spent an hour yesterday doing that, and it's mind-numbingly boring, and you're thinking, am I ever going to find anything? But as I said, the other thing you can do with with it, once you've found a potential domain, is check if anyone else is linking to your new site before you buy the domain. If you use services like Majestic or Ahrefs or a few of the others, OpenLink Profiler, you can do all that and you can find out. And chances again with Wikipedia, if Wikipedia are linking to it, a pretty good chance other people have found it either by scraping Wikipedia or by looking for themselves, but chances are it's not just a Wikipedia link you're going to get. And there's a link below this video which takes you to a piece of really neat software that finds dead links on Wikipedia and lets you quickly find out if they're likely to be expired domains. What it does what I said earlier, it just checks the status of the website and you can find out whether it's a dead page or a completely dead site or anything, and it's really quick and easy. And unlike WikiGrabber, which only seems to get about a page full of results, this gets, depending on how broad or how narrow you go, gets lots and lots and lots of results, more than you're ever going to cope with. It's cloud-based software, so you can run it from your browser. It means that you're not running anything on your PC. You don't have to keep the software up to date. You don't have to worry about it clashing with anything, getting broken on the next Windows or any other update or anything like that. It's just easy. Someone else does all that hassle. And as I said, there are countless possibilities. You can boost your own site because Wikipedia is a powerful link, even though it's no-follow. No-follow only means basically, it doesn't mean don't follow it. Google do follow it. There have been tests saying that no-follow links are followed. It's a poor description. It just means don't pass all the link juice. Don't pass any, maybe. But Google also knows it's a Wikipedia link, and their software knows to treat things slightly differently. So, and the other thing you'll get is the occasional person clicking through, because they will. If you read Wikipedia, you've clicked on links. You're trained to click on links on Wikipedia. It happens all the time, and some of those will be those links down the bottom that, yeah, most of the time you don't click on. Certainly, if there's 1,000,001 of them, I don't think you do. But then again, you might be researching, so you might. But anyway, it's the kind of thing you will get a little bit of traffic from it. You can also use it to boost client sites. So if you're an SEO, you do just that. You sell the Wikipedia links, but unlike the ones that are basically sneaked in, these are totally legitimate. You could flip the domain, so you can buy the domain, still link from Wikipedia in a month's time or whatever. You've added some more content to it, so instead of being one page in the middle of nowhere, it's 20 pages in the middle of nowhere, which is what the web is. Sell it on one of the flipping sites. I mean flipping as in flip domains, not flipping as in, yep, you know what I mean. And you can also, with the software, find and exploit all the citation needed links on Wikipedia, because there's loads and loads and loads of those. Again, Wikipedia will grab those for you. This software will grab those for you as well. And you're helping editors, and you can do that. You don't have to be an editor for it. You can just reach out to the editor saying, I was reading that article the other day and noticed you needed a citation. I discovered this. It happens to be on my domain. I'm not going to necessarily tell you that, but that's how you can get in. As you remember, I said earlier on, with if you do go in as an editor, you can't be an expert on 200 different topics that are completely unrelated. But if you're just being a helpful member of the public, suggesting a citation, chances are you get away with that, well, or a lot higher chance. And as I said, you'll know from your own searches, Wikipedia is massive. It gets in the search results. It seems to just have a permanent place in the top 10 for a lot of searches. So getting links from it is really useful. And this is a way to ethically use that to your own advantage. As I said, there's a manual method to do it, linked in the description. If you've got more hours in a day than you care to admit, yeah, go for it. Test the few things out. But if you want the software to do the heavy lifting for you, use that link as well. And that will get you to, basically, it does most of the hard work for you. Then, okay, you've got the cost of buying a domain, you've got the cost of the software, but it's a once-off cost. It's not a recurring cost. That's useful, very, very useful. Domains obviously have, what, $10 for most of them, something like that. But what I'd suggest is that you kind of use the flipping process to fund that. So you kind of do the one for you, one for me basis. You buy one that's yours that you're going to hang on to. You buy another one that you're going to basically turn into a profit. Do that. That would fund it very, very easily. So worth thinking about. As I say, click the link. You got the Matthew Woodward link, which would show you the manual process, which is quite good. I like the idea of knowing what's going on under the hood, but then click the link for the software because it's just so much easier. It's a bit like going in a Ferrari rather than a push bike. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching and have fun. And have fun helping Wikipedia be even better, but getting a little bit of your own advantage in on the process. Okay, thanks.